Ready, set, art. Origami Bat, Origami Ghost. So I'll start with the ghost one. And what's nice about this one is, besides it having this overall shape that I think is good, you can also draw on it, right? Naturally, when we think of ghosts, we think of the big eyes, almost like egg shape. And then, of course, they have a spooky little mouth. And then you would fill it in, right? And it kind of reminds you of Boo. So that's that one. And then we have a bat. And there's different origami bats out there. Although for a beginner bat, I think this one is actually pretty good to start with. Now those are both in white. You can do white, right? But due to videos and how white looks with the lighting doing folds, it's a little hard to see. So I will use a different color. I thought about purple for my bat, but then I forgot that I had a purple background here. Okay, you can use origami paper, although a lot of times people just have your rectangular shaped paper, so I'm going to go ahead and make a square from that. So you take one corner, meet up at one side. And it's just good in general to know how to make a square from a rectangle, right? I like to take old gum wrappers. I get a piece of gum, I have this leftover gum wrapper, and I use the leftover gum wrapper to make a quick little origami piece. Generally, I stick with cranes for that. Alright, so I'm going to trim this base off. What's nice about the trim here is that you can also make more squares from that and make mini versions of the origami that you just did. So like a little bat family or a ghost family. Okay, the ghost. So the first thing I'm going to do is I already have my first fold in, and then I'm going to open it up. So essentially that first fold is what we call a pre-fold. You know, you just make the fold and you open it back up to do something else. I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to fold at an angle, so not like this, but like this. So that's what I'm going to do first. Alright. I like teaching origami in class, but with 40 students, generally the day before, I like to go ahead and teach 4 or 5 kids how to do it, and then the next day they're my co-teachers and they help me out with all the kids. Alright, so that's one side. So if we're doing it on this side, also this side. So I'm going to fold this way. Okay, almost there. Okay. Alright, so now I have this part, and I'm going to take this corner and fold till it creates a square-like shape. So I fold like this, and see how I'm opening? I open like this, and I get to the point where it almost looks like it's creating a square, right? And that will later help shape these arms. Okay, so there's that part. I'm going to do the same to the other side. Now, what if you accidentally fold it too far or too close in? That part doesn't really matter, but I would say it looks better if you can fold it to this point where it kind of has this shape. Let's flip it over. That's right, we're flipping it. And you're going to take this part and fold that in. Okay, fold that in. I'm going to take this part, if I can with my short nails, fold that in. Okay, and if you look at this, I mean, this is the front part. Eventually we'll go back to this. This is how it looked on the back. So here, when it was first like this, I folded it in, and then I take the other corners and fold the other way. I fold the other way. Okay, so that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm going to take this edge and fold to the middle. I'm going to take this edge and fold to the middle. Fold to the middle. Just like that. And it will look something like this. What if you accidentally don't get it to a total point? Doesn't really matter, because eventually you're going to fold that part down. Okay. Next, I'm going to take this edge and also fold toward the middle. Sometimes I have to turn my paper to do that, right? Don't we all need to do that at some point? Make it a little easier. Okay. Alright, so here I am at this point. Okay. And if you look, it was like this before, and I'm going to fold down, then up, then back down. I'm going to fold down, This is creating the shoulders. So if you flip to the other side, here's our arms tucked in. Here's our shoulders. I'm going to flip back up. And if you look to the other side, now it's kind of weird and pointy. So to create that ghost-like shape, we're going to take this part and fold this down. So it's like an accordion, back and forth, back and forth. So if you didn't see that, let me do it again. I go from here and about right here. What if you fold down too far or too low? Doesn't really matter, but in general, you're going right here. You fold down, go a little bit above where the arms are. Don't leave it as a point. Take this part and fold down. And now we're ready to flip. Okay, and then we look. Do we want the head this short? I think I want it a little higher. So I'm going to go back. So if we're at this point, I figured, you know what, I went to, before I had it like this, I'm going to go a little higher this time. Art's all about correcting mistakes. It happens. So now I'm at this point. Fold this down. Now let me see. Oh, I like that better. That gives me a lot more room to create a face. Okay, so now we corrected our mistake. Or people make mistakes all the time. Now we got to make the tail. So we're going to take this part and go up and fold at an angle. Up and fold at an angle. If your angle's slightly different than mine, that's okay. Alright, so here's our ghost. From there, you could use a nice little Sharpie. I just happen to have a ballpoint pen because that's what I had on hand. Woo. And we have our little ghost. The bat. The bat. Okay. So, a little funky creating these wings. You'll see why in a moment. I'm going to go ahead and make my square. So I take one corner. I fold like so, meeting at one edge. As our Nevada shape. I'm going to cut the trim off. Okay. If you're using origami paper, that's fine. Then it's already a square. It's just a matter of waiting for me to cut the trim off. The leftover trim you can make smaller pieces. Okay, so it's actually following the first half of the steps. Follow the same steps if you're making a samurai hat or a fish. So we already have the first step in. I'm going to hold like this, hold the middle. I'm going to take one corner. I'm going to fold at a 45-degree angle. So not like this, but like this, where we meet at the top. We're essentially going from a triangle to a square. Now the other side. Okay. I swear these first couple steps is one of the most common steps for origami period in a lot of items. Alright, so now we're here. So we kind of have this layering, right? If we looked at the bottom, we're going to take these two pieces and fold it up, just like we would the samurai hat. So I'm going to take this first fold, and I fold up, just like that. Take this part, fold up. These pieces will eventually become the wings. These parts will eventually be the wings. This part right here. Okay. Flip. Take this part, the bottom part, these are the open ends, and fold up. So like I said, if this was the fish, this is kind of those first steps, right? If you folded this way, the other one that way, you would have close to a hat. And then it's halfway to a fish. Okay, so now we're going to make the head. Okay, so when this piece was like this, what I did is you fold up, and then you fold down, and that makes the head of the bat. So I'm going to turn it this way, pointing at me to make it easier. I'm going to take, if you were looking from the bottom here, it's this part right here. It looks like two little pieces of paper. I'm going to take that and fold up. What if you fold too high or too low? It doesn't really matter. Then try to get it straight though, or parallel. Then you take this part, bring it down. Alright, so there's the head. Now we got to figure out the wings. This is the hard part. We're going to take this corner, and I'm holding here, and I'm going to fold at an angle, meet at the middle. And what's going to happen is this part will pop out. Okay, you'll see. Dun, 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 dun. I'm folding this way. I'm meeting at the middle. Right? Fold this way. Eventually I'll show that pop in just a moment. I'm going to go this way. Look, it kind of just popped right there. And then, so if it was like this before, right? So right now it's like if you turned it this way, it'd be like a hanging bat, right? But we want to open it up. We want to open it up. So as I open it, okay, I'm going to bring the wing from the other side. See that part right there? I'm going to bring it out. See this part right here? Bring it out. Ta-da! Oh, and then look, it's like this. There's one more part to the wing. It's right here. Right here. I'm going to take this part, open, take this part, open, and we have our bat. We have our bat. Okay, so just a quick reminder of how that looked. So before we had this, right? We take this edge, fold to the middle. That part might pop up as you go because I'm holding it up instead of hanging on the table. Fold this toward the middle. There's this little flap right here. You could open it this way and then open it up, or you can just pull right here. Pull right here. And we have a bat. Thank you and good luck.